Now to D.C., where Trump supporters have gathered for demonstrations at Freedom Plaza. Billed as the Million MAGA March, several supporters are scheduled to rally against the election being over and the projected Biden-Harris win. I want to bring in CBS national correspondent Errol Barnett, who is near the rally. Errol, good to see you. Show us what's going on where you are.
Well, Anna, these around me are some of the president's most passionate supporters. This event in Freedom Plaza is billed as one to support President Trump, organized in just the past week as a way of showing force in the wake of his election loss. Now, I can see a few thousand people here. You can see everybody with their flags visiting from places like Tennessee, West Virginia, Maryland, and they're here because they're upset with the projection that Joe Biden will be the next president. I spoke with one of the organizers of this event as I tried to share with her the confirmed information from the Trump administration that the election was in fact secure, and she refused to accept it. And in fact, many of the people here have had social media pages taken down because they're supporting things like stop the count, stop the counting of legally cast ballots. And they're very upset that their pages have been taken down. So around me, you're seeing some of the supporters. I can tell you that I've seen a group known as the Proud Boys, other white nationalist groups and extremist groups that are expected to be here as well and have been promoting their participation online. The event is only a few hours long. There have not been any major clashes yet, but they still plan to march from here in Freedom Plaza to the Supreme Court. The overall message: they do not accept the election results as they've been projected by the major networks, including CBS.
Errol, these are very large crowds from what we're seeing. And you mentioned the Proud Boys, that, of course, being the group that President Trump was asked to denounce in a question about white supremacy, have been promoting this event, that they're involved. I'm hoping you can tell us a little bit more about that. And have we heard anything from President Trump?
President Trump, this morning, before he made a drive to play golf, went past this crowd and was beaming. He was smiling. And you could see a few hundred of them running up to the president's motorcade to cheer and show their support. So this is certainly a group that this morning received a bit of emotional validation from the president and for their message. The fear, though, is that there may be counter-protest groups that will also voice their opinions here today as well. We've seen a few small scuffles, and that's why D.C. police have encouraged people to not bring weapons to this event. In Washington, D.C., you can conceal and carry, but only with a permit. The police are imploring people here not to bring weapons. But you can hear how emotional people here get. I can tell you that they're telling us to tell the truth. A woman here is yelling at me saying, "We, the media, are the problem." And so you get a sense of just how emotionally volatile this group can be.
Certainly does seem emotional and heated. You mentioned concerns about violence and rules concerning weapons. What are law enforcement officials doing to try and mitigate any potential for those scuffles getting out of hand? And Errol, I'm wondering if you can tell us anything more about what it feels like being in a crowd that is emotionally heated and yelling at you that you are part of the problem.
Sure. Well, you know, for us, it's just part of the job. But I can tell you that we have had to hire 2 security members to be with us as we move through these crowds. You can see I'm wearing a mask, and the pandemic has only worsened across the country. But as you look at the crowd around me, there are very few people wearing masks. There is almost no social distancing here. So it's just one representation of how some people around the country feel and believe what President Trump has been saying. The question I've asked them is, will you accept the results? Will you accept a potential Trump loss if and when it is confirmed? And the organizers of this event say they don't think they have to just yet. So it's important for us to show this to you and to share with the world what's happening in Washington today, because it is representative of how many people feel across the country despite the election results.
All right. Well, thank you, Errol. I'm going to give you one request. If you can ask people out there if they would change their opinion if President Trump conceded the election, I'll check back in with you later. Thank you.
Sure.